Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle. I will be joined by Michael Reed. Hall will not be joining us for this episode. He is helping his fiance get a new car today, so congratulations to her on that. But the title of this episode is called The Tip of the Spear, and we have very special guest Mitch Tischler joining us. But before we ask questions, the Burgundy Zone is a part of the Frederick Podcast Network. You can find out more by going to www.letsitfrederick.com. And without further ado, Mr. Mitch Tischler of Monumental Sports, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I cannot complain, and unfortunate news, though, I did hear the other day, is that former Redskins / Commander Chase Roulliers has retired at the age of 29. It's unfortunate to see because, obviously, he did really well for Washington. It wasn't that long ago that I was asking John Keim if the rookie Chase Roulliers was going to start, and here he is retiring at 29. It was a big surprise to me. Was it to you?
It was a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, we know about his injury history
Right.
the past couple of years. I got to be honest, I don't know that it's really that sad of a situation. I mean, obviously, the injuries are tough when you break a leg and tear an ACL in back-to-back years. But you know what? He's walking away from the game at, I believe, 29 years old. He made a bunch of money. You know, he's walking away, not, super injured. Certainly, you see him and his wife are active on social media. They travel. They do a lot of building of household projects and building furniture and stuff like that. I think he decided that he didn't want to deal with the potential injuries moving forward, and it's not a sad thing. I mean, it's unfortunate the injuries that he's had, but I think he's getting out at a good time, and he's got a nice little nest egg to build a life off of.
Yeah, and I want to ask you this question because I saw online today on commanderswire.com, they had posted an article talking about Chad Reuter from NFL Network, who came out with a current player draft, and 6 Commanders players were selected in that draft. Terry Sweat, John Allen, Daron Payne, Cam Curl, and Kendall Fuller. Would you change any of those players if, let's just say, if you did a current player draft just based on those 6 guys? Would you change any of them?
I mean, I think we value him a little bit more than other folks just because we saw in limited play last year what he could do. But I think Jahan Dotson will show that he belongs in that group. I think having such an injured rookie year makes it tough, but you saw how effective he was in the red zone and getting in the end zone. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that explosiveness and kind of utility, gadgety type plays. I think he's going to get the ball in a lot of different situations. I think we're going to see a much, much better football player, at least a much more recognizable football player on the national level out of Jahan this year. But I don't really have a problem with any of those guys. I think that's pretty much that's a pretty strong list of folks there. I think you give it a couple of years and maybe Emmanuel Forbes and or Quan Martin are able to make a list like that. But for right now, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I think that's very fair, to say the least. I wasn't able to talk to you pre-July 4th, but I want to know, what were you eating on July 4th? What is, your dream scenario for July 4th? And then what is a good July 4th movie? I heard this discussion on the radio. I'm intrigued to see your thoughts.
Well, first of all, Independence Day is, I believe, the best July 4th movie. I don't know that there's a better July 4th movie out there. Do you got one?
I heard on the radio one lady said Jaws, and I didn't really understand that at all. But I would say The Patriot, with Mel Gibson, I think would probably be another good one to slide in there, or Glory is probably a great one to do as well. But any of those, really. And July 4th is tricky because the one you bring up, Independence Day, is the one you most kind of resonate with it, and it's probably the most odd of the bunch.
Oh, certainly. I mean, Glory, I agree with you, is an incredible movie and definitely a good, reminiscent of July 4th. But yeah, when I think of July 4th movies, Independence Day, for whatever reason, is the one that pops up.
You know what I saw on Facebook? I saw somebody say The Sandlot, because the last scene of them playing at night, they said because of the fireworks being in the sky, it was the only time it was bright enough at night they could play baseball and play a game. And I was like, I never really thought about it that way, but I guess that's a good way to spend July 4th. But nobody spent July 4th better, I think, than Josh Harris and company. Apparently they went and partied at Rubins' party. Did you know that?
I saw a bunch of pictures of of Josh Harris there. I didn't see a whole lot of other Commanders types folks around there, but definitely a lot of basketball players. Joel Embiid and James Harden were both there from the 76ers. So I imagine that was probably, a little closer to the Josh Harris group that was around there. But yeah, he's a mover and a shaker, and he's the type of guy that would be at that kind of party that you and I will probably never get invited to.
Never. No, and it's funny. Magic Johnson there, but Josh Harris was. That's really really funny. And he doesn't seem very stressed at the moment, which is great news to see. But my next question I have for you, because I've seen a lot of this on Twitter recently, and I love to see it. People, analysts, well known out there on ESPN and others, with Mina Kimes and Dan Orlovsky have gone posted these video clips of Sam Howell talking about his strengths. So can you kind of talk to me about Sam Howell's arm strength? Because the one difference for me is in next gen stats, they have Terry McLaurin, his 52-yard reception from Sam Howell in week 18 was the 20th fastest speed clock last season out of any player at 21 miles an hour. So I think that kind of highlights what Howell does, because Terry didn't have that speed before, if that makes sense.
I believe that pass was also either top 10, but possibly top five longest air yards pass
Yep.
in the NFL last year. So I mean, that was a big time play. It's funny to me to see the national pundits finally getting on board
Right.
and understanding that Sam Howell is actually the starting quarterback, because all leading up to the draft and even immediately after the draft, nobody out there wanted to believe it, no matter how much, reporters and fans and everyone told him, even Ron Rivera, hey, this is our starting quarterback. We're going with Sam Howell. Folks are finally starting to believe it, and now they're going back and doing the research. They're starting to look and hey, why is Ron Rivera putting Sam in this situation? And the only real games they have to look at is that Week 18 one, and he had some really really nice throws, some really good plays, and that arm strength, and it's both the arm strength and the willingness to throw the ball downfield that are two important things. Kirk Cousins had that arm strength, but didn't have that willingness to push the ball downfield. I think that's something we're going to see out of Sam Howell, and he's going to give these guys an opportunity. I think you're going to see Terry get some deep shots. I think you're going to start seeing the tight ends going down the middle of the field, whether that's Logan Thomas or Cole Turner or whoever it may be that's playing that kind of receiving tight end role. Jahan Curtis. I mean, you're going to see him push the ball downfield. We saw it already in minicamp and OTAs and this offseason. And I think it's something they're gonna emphasize, because it's something that can help open up the offense and help out the run game and help them out hitting some big plays.
And a stupid little side question, Mitch. I'm not trying to take digs at anybody or anything like that, but when Mike Jones came out to report that we were interested in Anthony Richardson in a trade up scenario into the top 10, what did you think of that? Did you take any credence to that?
Not really. And Mike Jones is one of my friends, so and he speaks to people in way higher positions than I do. So it's not that I didn't believe that somebody told him that.
Mm.
I just don't know that I believe that the Commanders were really pushing hard to make that kind of move. You could hear it you could hear it in everything they talked about leading up to the draft, that they didn't really want to move up. They're in a situation where they have talked about wanting to give Sam Howell an opportunity. You saw it last year with Carson Wentz, how hard they ride for their guy. They've been doing that for Sam Howell now. There wasn't a whole lot of wishy-washiness out of them until you got to the last day of minicamp, when Ron was like, well, it is still a competition. We're going to see what happens with him and Jacoby Brissett or whatever. But I don't doubt that somebody floated that idea. But to me, I think it played in with the rest of the national media not understanding that the Commanders were pretty comfortable with Sam being where they were. And, we're trying to fit every quarterback into the Commanders' world, because no one was ready to believe that Sam was going to be QB1 come September 11th or whatever day that first game is.
Yeah, that's a great explanation, and I'm glad to hear that Jones is doing well. And now we are joined by our other co-host, Mr. Michael Reed. How you doing, brother? And your mic isn't on, by the way. Great introduction. It's fantastic.
That's one mic that doesn't know how to work a mic. I'm telling you, unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. My next question to you, Logan Thomas. Let's just say projection, Mitch. Obviously you don't have a crystal ball in front of you. You're not Reed, but by week 6, Logan Thomas's stat line will be.
I got to be honest, I'm not particularly high on Logan Thomas. I know
That's fair.
folks have talked about him having a great offseason. I was concerned watching him kind of run around out there. He didn't look to me, and obviously others felt differently. So when they get in pads and start running around a little more, hopefully, as they get further away from the injury, he'll gain back some of that speed and elusiveness. But he didn't look particularly great to me, and I'm his the thing that he always does well is he has great hands. I always joke he has hands of steel because the second that he gets his hands on the ball, no one can rip it out.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job of using his body to shield defenders. And so he's still a very good receiver. I think he'll still be a good receiving tight end. I'm just concerned about the speed and the
Hmm.
athleticism and the cutting and all that from him. You know, so I don't know that I expect a huge year out of Logan. We saw it last year in training camp with Cole Turner, and everyone was pretty excited about it. We saw it again a little bit this offseason. I don't want to get too excited about it until I see it in a game. But Cole's a guy who is more of the modern day, kind of wide receiver ish tight end. And I
Right.
think that we might see better numbers from Cole Turner than we do Logan Thomas, at least in the passing game.
I'm in the leader of the Cole Turner fan club, so I love to hear that. One of the big concerns for Washington fans, like for one of the big reasons why they're pulling back on any excitement, really, or I'm not going to say any excitement, but a lot of excitement for this team or this offense, is because of the offensive line. One of the arguments that that I have used is that Eric Bieniemy's play calling is going to help in that way and kind of take the weight off of the offensive line's shoulders. Do you believe that's a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I think if if this is a traditional offense where Sam Howell's dropping back 3, 5, 7 steps in the pocket and trying to progress through reads, I don't think it's going to be a very successful offense. I don't
Mm,
think the offensive line is going to ultimately be good enough to protect a guy for long stretches of time, especially as he's trying to make his reads. And as a rookie quarterback, that that's something that's going to take some time. So I expect that Eric Bieniemy is going to use his mobility. Not that Sam Howell's going to go out and break you a 50-yard run for a touchdown, but he's shifty enough that he can move around in the backfield, and I think he can throw on the run. And we've seen him do that a little bit, and I think that's something that he's going to have to kind of continue to do. So yeah, I think Eric Bieniemy is going to have to continue to kind of be creative in the offense and get him on the move, and that's also what Bieniemy's offenses have looked like. I mean, no one is Patrick Mahomes, but you look at
mm,
what Patrick Mahomes does in the pocket, and there's not a ton of time that Mahomes sits there and takes a traditional 5, 7 step drop and heaves the ball downfield. There's a lot of line pull, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of crackback blocks, and then
mm.
receivers go up. So I mean, I think you're gonna see some of those some of the identity of that Chiefs offense make its way here to DC, and I think you're gonna see these guys have to kind of figure out a way to be successful, and certainly moving Sam Howell around would be a good way to disguise an offensive line that might be a little troublesome.
Yeah, and I've heard people say, obviously Eric Bieniemy wasn't the one calling plays; it was more like Andy Reid. But I think you and I both agree that just being a part of that offense for 5 years, learning from Andy, is going to help a lot in that regard, in those kind of situations of just knowing what to do. But
Hold on, real quick. Let me just. People love to glom on that it's Andy Reid's offense. People are trying to make it seem like Eric Bieniemy was sitting there twiddling his thumbs
right,
and chewing gum and not a part of what the Chiefs did. Now, was he the grand poobah of offense like he is here in DC? No, but the guy was very very involved in what they did, and you can listen to what the players themselves said and talked about and his importance to the team, and you have to recognize that yes, he has more on his shoulders here in DC than he may have had in Kansas City, but he wasn't an also ran in Kansas City. He was an integral part of those Super Bowls and those dynamic offenses.
that's why I like you, Mitch. I like you. Now, one of the next questions that I have, let's talk about Tyler Larson. Going into the season, do you expect him to be the backup center? Because that center position is a very intriguing one. We talked about Ricky Stromberg the last time you were on here, but our boy, Tyler Larson, friend and guest of this podcast, talk to us about him. Is he going to be the number two?
I believe he will be. You know, we opened up talking about Chase Roullier and his injuries. I probably have said it on here. I've said it a number of times. Nick Gates has played the same number of games the past 2 seasons as Chase Roullier.
Mm,
So as fans, we're so happy to see Chase, be shown the door because he wasn't healthy and wasn't able to play. Nick Gates is kind of in the same situation, and Nick doesn't have as much experience prior to those injured years that
true.
that he had. So it's just something to keep in mind. To answer the question, Tyler Larson, yes, I believe he'll be your backup. I believe he'll be your backup center. I think both Ricky Stromberg and Braden Daniels are both guys who are going to take a little bit of time to develop. That's not to say that Stromberg might not, work his way into that position as the season builds. I just don't think, right off the bat, that's going to be something. And honestly, I hope we see Nick Gates for 17 games plus
Right.
whatever's in the playoffs after that. And we don't have to worry about all these backup positions because I think things start getting a little dicey when you talk about backups at any position outside of Cornelius Lucas is the only guy that I really have faith in to step in and play kind of starter quality football. So there's a lot of questions, especially when you dig into the depth here of the offensive line.
Yeah. Now, are we finally joined by Michael Reed?
Is it working now?
Oh, it is working, but turn up your volume.
Oh,
Turn up
You're
your
lucky.
volume a little bit.
You're lucky I do audio stuff, and I had extra XLRs in my car.
There you go.
Very
Nobody
lucky.
knows who you're talking about, but it's
Yeah.
glad to see you, brother.
I
But do you
do.
have a question for
Hi.
Mitch?
Yeah, Mitch, who left the cocaine in the White House?
I have. Well, I don't do politics.
It's all a joke, dude. It's all
Listen.
good.
I get dug into all the bad stuff the Commanders have done over the years, and I had to learn about all that. Keep me out of politics as much as possible.
Read why, man. All right, last question I have for you. What Diami Brown? We talked about Eric Bieniemy. We talked about Sam Howell. He just came out with a video that him and Sam Howell are been working out together, throwing some balls, which is always good to hear. Better than them like partying somewhere or something like that. But where do you think Diami Brown fits into this offense?
I think he slides in four wide receiver sets, and I think he's going to be your go ball guy. He's going to be your get downfield. Diami and Sam both went to Carolina. We talked about Diami went down to Sam Howell's pro day. The two of them are clearly very very tight. Um, Obviously spent some time last year throwing the ball a bunch, so those guys know each other. Did you guys see Jahan was out there with OBJ? Was it
John's looking
Jamar
jacked.
Chase?
Yeah. John's
A
looking in
couple.
good shape.
You know what? I love all these guys getting together in the off season. They should. That's the best stuff you can see because it's those guys getting work when they don't have to get work.
Look, all I'm saying is it is kind of odd when we are looking at a picture of a young man saying, "Man, he's gotten so much bigger." Is all I'm saying. It's just like a weird scenario that we're talking
He has
about.
when
He
it's
has
somebody like
gotten a lot bigger. I
Jahan,
will say he's been
who was
working
like
hard.
smaller. Yeah, right. He was known for being smaller. He
But
looks
the
like he's
dude's
put on some muscle.
he's going to be a baller this year. And Mitch, you already talked about it earlier about Jahan being that guy that could possibly be that sixth man. Talking about being drafted in a current player draft. Mitch, I can't thank you enough for your time and the awkward answers that you gave because Reed decided to come on here and blow everything up. But Mitch, I can't thank you enough as always for Monumental Sports. And next time we'll get you on during training camp if that's possible, sir.
Did he blow stuff up because he was talking about cocaine?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. I like that one. There you
there
go,
we
Mitch.
go.
Yeah,
Mitch,
there we go. Yeah.
I knew I liked Mitch. Have a
Yeah.
good
All
night,
right,
brother. I
guys.
appreciate you.
All right, see you, Mitch.
Oh, you got out, Mitch. You got out. Read it, dude. That was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a very good pun. You can't go wrong with that.
Now, I wonder what happened to your XLR cords, by the way. That was kind of crazy. I've never seen that happen before. Where
Yeah,
you're
well,
saying,
I think it was an older one that I had grabbed and assumed it was the right one, and then it wasn't the right one.
right,
So,
I got you.
what are
Now,
you gonna do?
before we get into fan questions, I had my own question for you because we were just talking about Jahan and his shirtless picture that everyone loves to talk about and everything. I want to ask you, do you think this is like poised a breakout year for Jahan?
Yeah, he has, especially if he stays healthy. I mean, last year during camp, all that was talked about was that no cornerback could guard him. Everybody was struggling with him, except Benjamin St. Juste did a good job against him, apparently. But that's just a poor matchup for him with how long Benjamin St. Juste is, I think, and how long and athletic he is. But yeah, he has to, not because not only did he dominate during camp, it was like people were saying it was like this dude might be just as good as Terry. Like this guy, the way that he plays, the way that he catches attacks the football, the routes that he runs. So you
Now there
couple that.
were people that were out there saying though, like take a pause, they might just be hyping up this kid type of thing. But to your point, it was like consistent throughout OTAs,
Fans were there during camp.
mini
People
camp,
saw him.
and training camp.
Right.
Like it was,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at first I think that was the thing, but then during camp, everybody could kind of see what he was and that he was going to be an integral part of the offense. And then during the season, even though he missed some time, I know he was banged up a little bit, but he was just making plays. That's all the dude did. I mean, he just makes plays when he's on the football field and you feed him the ball. So I think as long as he's healthy, as long as he's going out there and let's say Sam Howell progresses, I mean, it's bound to happen. People that are that good don't not produce regularly, you know. So I think it's pretty soon. Everybody always talks about Drake London and Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and these guys, and they always seem to leave out Jahan, and it's a little unfair. So I think Jahan's going to come in there and just dominate. Be nice. Good
yeah,
boy.
I mean, your cord's messing up a little bit when you touch your microphones. So just calm down a little bit. But
Gotcha.
I wanted to talk about this in particular, right? Because I brought this up with Mitch Tischler earlier. Terry McLaurin has the 20th fastest speed clocked in the NFL last season in Week 18 on that 52-yard catch from Sam Howell, indicating just how far that ball was and how hard Terry had to run. Terry didn't have anything like that before that. And then you couple in the next gen stat of Brian Robinson having the being the eighth most efficient guy and facing 8+ defenders. So if you couple the fact that Brian Robinson sees stacked 8 boxes with Terry McLaurin having that speed downfield, having the 20th fastest clock time, and the only time he gets that is when Sam Howell's on the field, I think that means a lot for Jahan Dotson in the fact that you're not going to be having to worry about a lot of coverages over the top of you because it's all going to be focused on either Brian Robinson or Terry McLaurin at that point. And I think that's really good news for Jahan because he's in the right shape, right mindset to really go make some noise.
Right. And don't forget Curtis Samuel ran a faster 40 than Terry, all those guys coming out of college. So you get at that speed on the field too. I know that Washington did run the ball a lot. They weren't very efficient at it, but they were consistent with running the football. So maybe that had something to do with people stacking the box against Brian Robinson, but don't stack the box against him. And I guess see what happens. So and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we say all that, and we had all that quarterback issues, and Terry McLaurin was 10th overall in receiving yards, including running backs, tight ends. With Travis Kelce on there, he's 10th in receiving
Terry
yards.
too, dude. It's such a like a DeAndre Hopkins situation where it's like DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody knew he was good.
How long have I been saying that?
I know you have.
I was like, dude, there's only a
true.
special type of human being can exist in these type of situations
Right.
that don't complain. They just go out there
still
and work
gets
hard.
over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is the only one that really comes to mind.
All of a sudden he got old, Deshaun, and all of a sudden he starts producing, and everybody's like, oh yeah, that's an elite wide receiver. Terry's already borderline elite. Like I know us Commanders fans would say that he is elite, but to the rest of the NFL, not yet. But like you get him a real quarterback, you get good quarterback play with Sam Howell, game over.
I mean, we said that last season. We said that the season.
That's what I'm saying.
That.
I mean, there's a big caveat there with the quarterback position, but
man, it's like one of these days, man, we'll actually get consistent quarterback play all season long. But let's get into our fan questions, and this one was submitted by the Colonel. He asks, Bruce Ewing, sports writer for Yardbarker, just published that he had an article on the most overpaid and underpaid players in the NFC East. He says Logan Thomas is the most overpaid, citing his 8th highest salary on the Commanders and 11th highest paid tight end in the NFL. He says that Cam Curl is the most underpaid, especially after being named in the NFL's second best safety by PFF. I think he makes a good point. Do you guys agree with him?
Yeah, I mean, I get the Logan Thomas thing. I mean, obviously the Cam Curl thing is yes, of course he's the most underpaid player in the NFC East. I don't even think it's close.
Well, it's not the NFC East, so it's for every team who's
who's the most
overpaid.
For sure. If you're talking about just production and then look at their contracts, like do a comparison on that. Yeah, Cam Curl should be paid way more. Right. He's going to get paid way more. But the Logan Thomas thing, yeah, that makes sense too because he really only had that 1 year with us, and then he's kind of been hampered by injuries. And that 1 year was good. I mean, it was solid. It was, and I think we think it was really good because it was better than we expected from him. But it's still, I mean, compared to other tight ends in the NFL, it wasn't that good. Now I'd have to see what he's being paid per year as opposed to some of these other guys. But yeah, I mean that makes sense too. I think he probably hit that one right on the head.
Yeah, I will say this, that I understand what he's saying by it with Logan Thomas, but we also have to understand the context of that situation. Jordan Reed had retired. Like, didn't have a tight end here. Logan Thomas coming in for that year was on a 1 year deal, did really well. And so, like, at that point, we were like, okay, what do we do? Because we have nothing else here. And so we had to resign him, and everyone was on board with that. But a lot like Chase Roullier, after that deal gets signed, there's an injury bug. And can you come back from that injury bug your
Right.
same self? And I don't think that's possible. But I understand it being the most overpaid for Logan Thomas, because that's very simple and easy. I think that's an easy
That-
explanation, just because of the injury, you know.
Right. I mean, that does play into it, though. That definitely does. I mean, if you're not playing, you're not producing. So it sucks that when you're that highly paid. But I do love Logan Thomas. He's a great
And
guy.
then Cameron Curl, I mean, that's probably the easiest. You could probably say the most underpaid player in the NFL. I'm
Right.
not saying NFC East.
In
I'm not
terms of
saying
what
NFC.
he means, right?
Yeah. I mean, people could probably argue, like, you know, you could say Jalen Hurts last
I
year.
mean, you would bring up a quarterback, and that's understandable. But on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think that there's anybody more underpaid in the NFL.
No,
than Cameron Curl.
absolutely not.
There he is.
And now we are joined by our next guest, Mr. Rick Doc Walker. How are you doing tonight,
Gentlemen,
brother?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Good. It's you guys just getting started. See, I started 6 a.m., so I'm going into Netflix mode.
There you go.
What are you
Yeah.
putting on?
Last night I finished oh God. I saw Arnold. I saw God, it's a repeat program about the guy he beat like 1,000 people in prison.
Oh, wow.
I have to jump to my remote. It's he's good. Zor Thor, or I think his name is Thor. Guy's real good. And you know, with the strike, the writers' strike, there's some of my mainstays, Colbert and some of the late night things are not on.
Right.
So I've been spending a little more time catching a couple of documentaries. I thought Arnold was fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, his perseverance. I mean, those guys, part of me like to see what they would look like if nobody cheated
Yeah.
and doped up. And then the other part of me would say, well, what if they just all went for it? I mean, I wouldn't do it, but if they
how
went
far
for
can you
it,
take this? Yeah, let's see.
I
how
mean,
big you can
it'd be, yeah, but if somebody got deformity, it would worry me.
get.
But they've been doing it anyway that way, man. And most of the guys, a lot of guys, we had a guy with Jacksonville just got popped, left tackle, PD. So, hey, man, whatever. I mean, Arnold made a lot of money. The movies, you know, they were good. And it was an interesting story for a guy who was so focused. I mean, he had laser focus and determination in the work that got in. So what's up? What's up?
Let's go Chargers. Still the funniest thing that he ever did. Doc, we haven't been able to talk to you in a while, but I want to get your opinion, because I see a lot of Eric Bieniemy in the, like, because we've been able to talk to you throughout the years. You know, you've given us a lot of your time to be able to come on here and give us your thoughts on the team. And this kind of aggressive mindset is something that I would argue Washington has needed for some time, ever since Trent Williams left his team. What is your feeling with Eric Bieniemy, your comfortableness with him? Because obviously he has to prove it on the field first, but just in the mindset alone.
Well, I to me, it's normal. I don't understand. Well, I do understand. Our program has been through so much, but to me, what he does and how he goes about it doing is normal. And if you got a job and the team you were dealing with was last in the division, what did you want them to come out there and give them cupcakes? I mean, there's a reason why they averaged under 20 points a game on offense. And he's been hired to fix that. So if you talk to the champions that he worked for, they're going to tell you, Kelsey, attention to detail. They enjoyed being pushed. Champions know that the only way you get to the finish line is to be pushed to another level that most people haven't experienced. The teams in last place, that's why they're in last place, because they don't practice at a tempo that gives them that extra gear on game day. And that's all he knows. And so I think it's perfect. The defense has responded. Was very impressed with the way they coach, the way Jack and his crew See, you got to understand, there's been a lot of movement in the coaching staff. They have excellent teachers. You can just hear them. I say that I should be able to close my eyes and hear a good practice. So I heard, it checked all my boxes. I went by, saw it once, I'm done. Next time I see them, they'll have on pads. Because I just can only take so many walkthroughs. I don't even call them practices. Those are exercises. Football practice is full contact, and you go for it. So the Ravens scrimmage is hopefully next time I put my eyes on them. And
you excited
I'm
about
just waiting.
that?
Cardinal. Oh, I'm ecstatic because it's going to be full contact. It's going to be live. I don't want any fights, none of that crap, because that takes away from it. I don't afford to have a guy break a hand, but I do want to see spirited, high-level competition against someone other than one of your brothers. You're only going so hard against guys that are on your team, especially veterans, guys that with relationships. You know their family, they know your family, they know the name of your dog, you know the name of your dog. But when you go up against somebody in a different uniform, all bets are off. Now it's just let's go. They have not had enough of that, in my personal opinion. For whatever reasons or excuses for people that fail. Get the job done. Line up what you got to get done. You can't bring rookies and young guys in and not have them click at a professional level of practice so they understand it. If they're supposed to wait till the game, and then you got preseason games, rookie versus rookie. So what do you get out of it? Then you don't play the programs don't play their veterans. So I'm wondering, how the hell are they going to get ready for the regular season? Then you have a slow start and you go, duh, we get better. To me, it's incredibly insane. But that's the past. So now it's over. They're going to do it the right way, and I can't wait.
When you were a player doing those scrimmages, how important was that for you just to test yourself against somebody other than a teammate?
Well, yeah, nobody wants to do it. Right. That's why you don't hear them bitching about not doing it. But the only way iron sharpens iron, you got to go at it against fiercely competitive people. Right. I would only want to scrimmage the Ravens. Ravens, yeah. Patriots. There's certainly certain teams I'd want to practice against.
Right.
Tennessee Titans. I want physical people who understand line of scrimmage wins.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm not looking for all the formation people and all the motion. Right. All that is dress. That's the hot sauce.
How we can put the Lions in that category.
Steelers, Lions.
Great team to play.
Yeah. Lions, we used to do. We did the Ravens. We did what Ravens, Colts, Steelers. That's it. Joe Gibbs, Colts, Steelers. You can't get any tougher groups to go against. Yeah. You don't want to go up against a wine and cheese crew.
Yeah.
You want to go up against some blue collar guys, lumberjacks. That's what you want to go up against. So yeah, they've done it this year. So can't wait.
And now I want to bring this over to Chase Young. This is a very big year for the young man, and this type of situation has blossomed some flowers for Washington in years past. Deron Payne in the most relative future. Before that, Jonathan Allen and others. What is your expectation for Chase Young? I'm not going to say expectation. What are you hoping for the young man?
Oh, I hope for him and his family that he reaches all of his goals. But I don't get into that. That's not my job. He's been paid. He's got a job to do. He wants more money. Go prove it. And if not, next guy go up. Smith Williams, Hill. We've got depth. I don't. It's never personal with me. I'm into the unit. I need the D-line to dominate. They got all the talent in the world. They got 8 deep. Go for it, because I'm expecting a top 3 defense.
I should have known better, Doc, because dumb question to ask. I know.
No. Don't mess up how you do your business. Mess around with me.
No, you're good.
I'm an alien, man. I'm not. I'm not into this. It doesn't produce any results. All that is bull. It's just crap.
Okay.
It doesn't produce results. You're in last place in the division.
It's true.
You're a non-playoff team. You lost to the Cleveland Browns at home. You couldn't beat the Giants. And you're asking me what I think about it. Hey, man, prove it. Payne did it last year. He won the bag. They said, we ain't giving you nothing. Go take it. He went out, broke some jaws, got it. Yeah. He got paid. If 99 does that, great. Sweat does it, great. If they don't, next. It's never personal.
Yeah. I got you.
I need to get back into competition to compete for a championship. And you don't do that with guys who talk more than they perform. guys that are hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. I trust that Chase has all the pride in the world. He's my kind of guy. All he got to do now, go prove.
I love it. And like, I wanted to rephrase it and say, what is going to be a good we talked about Eric Bieniemy, his first season here. We're tired of the excuses. We made him last season, the season before that. My expectation is that they have to win a playoff game at the bare minimum, not just make the playoffs. Actually, you have to win a playoff game to really show me that they're ready to take that next step. What do you need to see for this to be a successful season?
I got to beat the Cardinals. To me, it's beat Cardinals. My only thing on my agenda is to beat Cardinals. Yeah. They beat the Cardinals, I'm thrilled to death. I mean, there's nothing else I want out of them but to win the opener.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't do anything if I don't dominate September. I got to be 3-1 or undefeated in September.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just urinating in a storm. Yeah, all that sounds good. I don't need clicks. I don't need bites. I don't need fans. I don't need anything other than to get back in the tournament and compete for the Lombardi Trophy. And in order to do that, it's boring. I know it. People hate it, but it's the only way it works.
It's true.
Everything else is all propaganda, promotions, and it's great. It's great. For those of you that does it, you got my thumbs up. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to subscribe to that. I never will. My group, K9, man, we don't operate that same way, man. It's a different operation. And so I'm not going to be publicity by promotions, gimmicks, none of that. I don't give a damn about the name, the uniform, colors, nothing other than I need to win. I cannot survive in my environment around my Cowboy and Eagles and Giants friends. Mm-hmm. I just can't do it. You know, my circle of influence, the people that are in my life are highly competitive trash talkers. They bet, and it's like I cannot keep going in around my people being mocked and laughed at and doing the playoffs. I'm sick of it. Right. I'm just literally so embarrassed at this point that all I want to do is get back in the game, in the competition, so that I can talk trash. It has no financial bearing. It has nothing to do other than me to be able to tell Clarence Goldsboro Jr., William A. Taylor, tell those guys to kiss my behind. And that, if I can do that, then I'm back. I'm in. Other than that, hey, I've had it.
Dude,
see, I've already done it.
Everybody has group chats, I'm sure, Doc, and they all understand exactly what you're saying right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know if they do or don't, but I don't care. My thing is that I've got pelts. I'm not trying. What I'm asking for, it's not like it's impossible, because we did it. We were a part of it. So I'm not asking somebody to go climb Mount Olympus, and I never even got out the car. I'm not doing that. I'm asking you to follow a path that's been traveled. I understand there's a formula to it. You know, so all these people come in with all these I don't get into that. It's black and white. Either we're going to get it done at the line of scrimmage or we're not. And then the rest of it, now I'm highly confident. We've got Bieniemy, we got Jack and the crew, and we got Coach K with special teams. Look, we've got the best punter in the league. We got a world-class snapper, and Joey looks like Hercules. Now I need him to kick the ball through them uprights. If he gets it through the uprights consistently, we're good to go. Coverage teams ought to be blistering because the guys they drafted, these rookies, man, can run.
So athletic.
So we got talent. We draft so well in the middle. Right. Everybody hangs on the first round. I don't give a damn about the first round.
Right.
What I care about is 5th, 6th, 7th, and undrafted free agents, because that's the core of championship teams are built that way. The Miami Heat, that's what I'm about. 3 undrafted free agents in it, whether they're in the finals. All this hoopla draft, you've been seduced by people manipulating you, for hits and all this new garbage. I'm numb to that. All right. So I want to get Curl locked up.
Yeah.
True warrior. There's some guys, if you see these young people they've drafted in here, I'm hyperventilating over the fact that they got good people. They're really good at it. Now we got to be healthy. One thing nobody can control is health. Hopefully we'll be healthy. But the rest of that now, man, this is a done deal. All we got to do is get to the games and get going, and the rest of it takes care of itself.
Yeah. So, Doc, it seems like over the last few years, John Allen has really finally taken the national media and stuff by notice. He's getting the respect that he deserves. And John Allen is an intense dude. He's in your face. I mean, when we met him at the draft last year, I was just like, this guy would kill me if me and him ever got into it. Like, he's an intimidating guy. And it seems like that's kind of a thing of the past. Like, you don't see that much anymore. Do you have any who was like that?
Well, he is the guy. I mean, I did the preseason last year, and he's the first guy at practice. First guy on the field. So Coach Z comes in first year, D-line coach. Ryan Kerrigan, first year D-line. And these dudes come out there. When John Allen, your bell cow, is the first guy out there pre-practice, that's the championship mindset. That's what leads it all go. So I ain't worried about him. I'm really not worried about anybody on the team at all. All I want is hope and pray for health for them. The rest of it is that they come in the best shape of their life, or they should be released or let go.
Yeah.
Come in ready to go and get it on. And Ravens scrimmage, Cardinal games, and the preseason, who knows? They got 3 now, and maybe they play 1. I don't understand the way they do it, but that's their business. All I know is that the Arizona Cardinals are licking their chops because they got Washington in the opener. And everybody's saying that they're going to be garbage, and they hope that everybody buys into that. A lot of our fans are going, I've already heard it. Oh, we got it easy. You nitwits, you have no idea. I wish we were playing the Eagles, to be honest with you, because then I wouldn't have to worry about any apathy. I don't have to worry about vacations. You play the Eagles in the opener right now, the summer. There's no summer for a team in last place. Summer, you do that vacation after the Super Bowl next year. They should be chomping at the bit to get to camp and get this taste out of our mouth. This was a playoff team last year. They were that close. If I told you before the season, hey, man, all we got to do is beat Cleveland at home and the Giants, and we're in the playoff, you all would have said, bet, let's go, slam it down.
You're right.
And we got pie in our face. Absolutely humiliated.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm coming in with, that mindset, is that it is who it is. I'm focused on one team, Arizona. How we build to get to Arizona. We got to retool offensive line. We have 2 outstanding offensive line coaches, guys with great pedigree, NFL experience, and they're excellent teachers. Now, they're replacing a legend, but that's why there's 2 of them. And both of them worked with him. Both of them been here. And when you got a guy that had his hand in the dirt for 10 years in this league, you couldn't ask for nothing better. This staff is so experienced because a lot of them played. They didn't think the game up. They're not doing Madden. They actually have pelts on their wall. So it's a great communication thing. You can see it when you go out on the field. You can hear it. Again, I listen to a good practice. I can close my eyes and hear a good practice. So there's no excuses. Everybody's there. Go, injuries, hey, bets off. Nobody can overcome that. But if these guys come in and, man, had a spirit and the right mindset, Bieniemy's not going to give you any other choice. Okay? Jack, they were top 10 last year, carrying that snail offense around. Okay? And they were top 10. So, yeah, man, my enthusiasm is genuine based on facts. And the facts tell me that we get 5 guys up front on that offensive line that want to be heroes. Because it's there. Whether it's Sadiq, whether it's Paul, whomever, don't matter to me. But there's 5 jobs to be won up front. And we need about 8 guys that can go in there and play. And it's competitive. And let's go for it. Shout out to Roulliers. Loved it, man. Body broke out on it. Went out like a warrior. Hopefully Larson, praying that his body holds up. Dude was my MVP last year. And so it's there. There's no excuses. We don't need nothing but time and to get there and some health, and then let's do it.
I hope they come in fired up to training camp, Docs. I know a lot of the fan base is. We're expecting big numbers week 1 in fan attendance. I've said before I don't want to see any Cardinals jerseys week 1. Want to kind of retake the house. Doc, I can't thank you enough for your time as always, sir. I know you're very, very busy trying to get you on here. Someone's always calling you to speak to them. They love to talk.
No, dude, no, man. You guys, you young people, you get up late. See, so I'm up in the dark, and so 6 o'clock, it's Miller time. By the time I'm getting ready, launched up for the next day. Plus Nats, rain delay. I'm watching the Curly W's. See, man, I'm so into. Look, we're in rebuild mode now.
Yeah.
Caps, we got a new coach. So we got a brother, got the brotherhood from Hershey. He understands it. The original architect built it. He's like, I call him he's a kennel. He had him as puppies. And now they've grown up, so he's got the DNA, man, already logged up. We're changing the whole attitude of the Wizards now. Thank God. We're coming in here now.
Right.
Yeah.
We're shuffling people out. We're bringing some people in. So it's a genuine enthusiasm. Now, nobody's picking you to do much. That's how you want it. Now, guys that are hungry. We're getting some undrafted free agents. There's too many guys, man, fat in the belly. We need some cats come up here, man, that are hungry.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the baseball team now. We're self-inflicted wounds. It's going to happen. But, hey, there's promise. And I like seeing where they are right now. We got some young arms. We got speed. We cannot hit with people on it. We leave people bags juiced. We can't move runners.
Right.
But Davey now, man, been kicked out of 2 games.
I know. I'm scared he's going to have a heart attack.
No, he didn't have a heart attack.
He had one during
Davey,
the 2019.
He was close.
No,
first of all, he's a champion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he gets it.
Yeah.
And so now with Rizzo, hey, man, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
We're on the run. So it's a developmental
Yeah.
situation now in the DMV. Terps are loaded, okay?
Yeah.
And the Hoyas retooling. We got Hoops, Pigskin, Loxley's boys. I'm expecting out of this group, I just need a champion. I need somebody out of this group to take me to the top.
Hey, Doc,
and I'm supportive of them.
Doc,
hey, out of the pro teams.
Don't put me in with these knuckleheads. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day.
No, I'm just saying, man.
So
you guys are junkies, man. I'm a junkie. Like I'm leaving. I need wins to get oxygen. It fuels me, man. I've been a loser
my whole life, Doc.
I can't move around, man.
Yeah.
George Allen said best in the 60s. After every loss, he says like losing an organ in his body. And then when he wins, it gets rejuvenated. George Allen's the reason this rivalry really hit to an epic state.
Yeah.
And that's where it was. Now we just talk about it. Then over the hill gang. They're too old. No, man, they had that fight. I mean, the Wild Bunch. Our special teams unit used to be referred to as the Wild Bunch. These kids, they don't even get it. I'm telling you, man. So it's for us, pass it down. Tell these young guys what they walked into, man. This is no different than a collegiate environment that, what do you want to be? Well, I want to be like LSU. Where there's 200,000 in the parking lot, 100,000 inside.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, you got to earn that. You got to create that excitement. I want a whiteout at Penn State.
Yeah.
All right? Mays out at Michigan. Look, the horseshoe. See, this is what I'm talking about. These environments, man, you can't even breathe.
Yeah.
When the Longhorns run, that's what we had.
Going into Death Valley.
I'm thirsty
during a
for
whiteout
it.
game.
There you go. The way you go. I'm thirsty for that.
Me too.
Sandman playing at Virginia Tech.
My man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when that's what I'm talking about. So we've had moments of it. We know what it's like. But it's like we're in a desert. And I'm not standing for it. See, I'm gonna be the lone survivor. I will not stop until we kiss the Lombardi.
Absolutely,
Dude,
Doc.
yes, Doc.
I cannot thank you enough. I cannot wait to listen
Appreciate
to this,
y'all,
sir.
man.
Have a
Keep
good
it
weekend,
going.
Doc. Be safe,
Appreciate
brother.
y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man, on the podcast.
Until next time, Doc. I appreciate you, sir.
Anytime, man. All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right, everybody. We just spoke with the man, Mr. Doc Walker. I love talking to that man.
Doc just goes. Doc just
Dude,
goes. You just wind him up and let him go. That's the only way to do it.
So he did answer my question, though. I love Doc because I asked him, like, what do you need to see a playoff win? And he ended up saying, like, I just need to worry about Arizona. But then later on, he was like, I need to not only just make the playoffs, I need to win a playoff game. So I'm like, I got it out of him.
Yeah. There.
Yeah. I told you I'd do it.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Let's go to our fan question wrap up this episode, brother. We got to go a little bit rapid fire here. This from the Colonel. Our two highest draft picks of recent memory, RG3 and Chase Young, both won Rookie of the Year honors, subsequently suffering devastating knee injuries. I understand mortgaging our future to get a franchise quarterback, as we did with Griffin. Jeff Fisher and the Rams got 5 players for Griffin. Do you think Ron and the Martys learned their lesson and will trade back for more players once we get our franchise quarterback, if we get a top 5 selection? Unless there's a future Trent Williams available to protect our quarterback, I can't see wasting that pick on quarterback or left tackle.
Yeah, see, it's tough because you get, what are they doing? Storming the Capitol? The dogs getting ready to go? No,
somebody's just walking around outside.
It's tough because like the whole RG3 thing. Yeah, I don't want to compare Chase to that yet because he can still do it. He can still come back and play fantastic. So please don't put that evil out there.
No.
But have they learned their lesson? No, I think anytime if you're picking that high, you need somebody that's going to change it. You're right. I do think it would be cool to see it. It'd be cool to see like a trade back type scenario or something like that where you get a bunch of players out of it and end up being really good. But I don't know, man. It depends on where you're picking, who's there, because you got to keep swinging at those generational players. But it's tough, man. Because on paper, obviously, you look back and you're like, shit, look what we could have done.
Yeah, I will say that the Penn State left tackle is going to be a legit player in the NFL.
He's a beast.
And he could possibly be a top 5 pick, but I understand what you're saying.
I think
he
will be. Him and Joe Alt from Notre Dame is also really good.
Now, that being said, Colonel, the one aspect of this that we're not taking into consideration is the owner change with Harris and company. Let's say if they do have a top 5 selection, is it guaranteed that they're going to want to continue course the way it is? If they have a top 5 selection, maybe they want to bring somebody new in who has their own mindset of what to do with that top 5 pick with the new quarterback class. So, but what do I think they should do is I'm hoping is that Sam Howell pans out and really does well, and it allows this organization to orchestrate themselves in the manner as other teams like the Eagles, where they can really benefit from having a rookie deal quarterback and really extend their team in other ways. And hopefully that continues for us, because I don't want to have to start over.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Now let's move to our questions in the Discord chat server where our best guys are in. This one is from Tim Towner, who asks probably the best ones that we have for today. Actually, no, I'm going to go to Tony Shivers. It's a great one. What actor should play each of you in a movie?
Damn. Well, for me, obviously, probably somebody like Channing Tatum or Brad Pitt. For Kyle, probably
Denzel.
No, well, yeah, maybe. No, for you, probably like Jonah Hill back from the movie Accepted, where he was super fat. That would be you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Hall
feel that.
Hall would probably be, he'd probably be Denzel. Yeah, that would make sense.
Was that like you were just pushing out on me, because you would be a great Jonah Hill. Like he would even have to
He's too skinny now, man. He's too skinny now.
He wouldn't have to change his personality. He could just do it it would fit.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, obviously. But no, he's too skinny now.
His personality, dude, is what I'm saying.
It's weird.
So
he needs to be fat. Yeah,
that's true. For me, I'll say Denzel. But seriously, I'm not really sure about actors. I don't really care. You could have my son play me. How about that? Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. How about that?
There you go.
Next question, Discord of Jeff Miles. With Ron's job on the line, assuming he can't afford to go 0-5 or 1-4 in the beginning of the season, is Arizona a must-win game already?
Yeah, I feel like every week 1 game should be a week 1 or should be a must win. But then because it does give you motivation, it does help you get onto a roll. Yeah, you hope. I mean, but last year we saw that against the Jaguars, but the Jaguars are actually good. Arizona should not be good this year. Like, we knew that the Jaguars could be pretty good. Arizona, yes, I do think it's a must-win game. It's a new era, dude. I think every game should be kind of considered that, but the lowly Cardinals without Kyler Murray, you got to win this game. You have to week 1 at home too, with that first game without Dan Snyder.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff, in the fact that based on years past, it's very important to get off to a fast start this season. I'm not saying that it's an easy schedule or anything like that, but they cannot be putting themselves in such a hole to begin the season like they have in the past. You know, how many times like I love the way Doc broke it down, right? What he said basically is you lose these games in the beginning of the season. Now you're trying to keep up and trying to gain back what you've already lost. And by the end of the season, you're getting to those pressure points where you have to win to get in, and you're tired because of how hard you work through the middle of the season to get back to that point. Where Doc is saying, let's get ahead of the train here, and let's build a lead so we can be comfortable, so we can actually go in and win these football games one by one and not have to worry about all of that later on in the season. Let's get it done now. And I agree with it that they have to get off to a fast start this season more so than any other one. Just given the fact of having the best possibly coaching staff in the NFL, they got to prove a point in early on. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I honestly can't wait. It's a really exciting season. I honestly feel this could have the remnants of 2012. Don't mean to get ahead of myself, knock on wood. I'm just saying this is one of those years I think that we should be just like enjoying the ride for what it is, and let's really enjoy it together. Now let's go to our next question. Tim Towner, what are your thoughts on Washington's throwback uniforms? Best and worst, and should the league schedule 2 throwback weeks where each team would be able to wear a throwback home and away uniform?
Yeah, so I mean, there's really not. I don't think that there's a bad Washington throwback. I even like the canary yellow helmet ones. Those ones are pretty cool. But obviously, anything with a spear on it would be tight. Like from that, what was it, 50th anniversary team, whatever it was, for back in the day with Danny Werfel and Shane Matthews. Boy, those get you excited. But I really really like now, and they can do this now that they can do the different helmets because they used to have to stick to one. But the ones that they wore RG3's rookie year, the throwbacks with like the fake leather helmets that they made look like leather helmets. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those ones are awesome. I'd love to see those again because they still wore them after a while. Like they would just have the mismatched burgundy on the helmet and it looked weird. But yeah, as long as they can do the leather again, I'm down for those.
Yeah, the leather was dope. The one helmet I always used in Madden was the yellow helmet with the white circle with the red R.
Yeah, the canary yellow
yeah,
one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my bad.
Jason Campbell
Sorry,
and stuff.
I was trying to find
that.
other fan questions. My apologies. I wasn't really listening to
Oh,
it.
you're good. Nobody does. Nobody does.
Nobody does. No, but I love that helmet and that combo, especially that 2012 combo when they had the burgundy stripes on the side of the neck. It went really well with it. So for a throwback, I would love to be able to use that one, but you can't go wrong with that leather look with the spear, like you talked about. That with this, what years was that? Well,
there's no spear on that one. The old school ones with this. No, the leather one was like
I'm
the
talking
second
about
year.
the dark burgundy aspect.
Oh yeah. That was 2000. It was early 2000s. Obviously, I think it might have been 2002 or 2003.
I got Daryl Green's jersey in that.
That was. I think pretty sure that was the first year we had Jeremiah Trotter and London Fletcher with LeVar Arrington. Everybody was like, best linebacker core in NFL history, and it sucked.
Yeah, how'd that turn out? Now let's go to our next question. This is on Twitter from Tony Franchise. Thank you, Tony. What type of events would you like for the team to have the week of the first game and on game day?
Well, I know Kyle's going to want a pride event. That's okay with me. I'm an ally. Also, dude, just anything to welcome fans back where you're giving away free stuff, I think will definitely bring people in. And not just like, oh, look, here's a koozie. Here's a lanyard. I'm talking, give these boys some shirts. Give us some knockoff jersey. I don't care. Buy them from DHgate, ship them up from China. I don't care. Get fans there, get them celebrated, give them another reason to come up there and reward them for coming back.
Yeah, what I will say is that we need to get the mascot, like I said last year and before the national anthem, had that dude parachute into the stadium, man. A real introduction. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you have him parachute in, come on, dude, that'd be sick if that happened.
Midget wrestling outside too. You could do that in a ring.
No,
yes.
No, you don't need to do that at all.
Why? They're midgets.
No, but other events, I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe something military. I loved last season how they had the soldiers actually being sworn into the service on the field during halftime. You know, because I've seen a lot of people comment that the commanders don't really do much for the military community and how there's really a connection there. Well, you know, I think that's a very good indicator. I don't think every team does that, to be honest. But I'm not really sure about events. The last question that we have is from Coach Greg Curl. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. With a healthy defense, would it be fair to expect nothing less than a top 5 performance this season, Reed?
Yeah, I think so. Dude, this defense is so stacked. If everybody stays healthy and they play up to their potential with Jack Del Rio running the show, there's no reason that this defense should be anything lower than top 5. And I know that that's big. Like, that's a pretty big deal, but like they're that talented and they're that deep and they have that many young playmakers. It's a perfect mixture of young playmakers and wily veterans that like you see on these elite defenses. And I don't think that there's any reason that this defense should be lower than 5.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Deron Payne has logged a 10th fastest sack last season by Next Gen Stats in Week 8 in 2.37 seconds. Jonathan Allen has the 17th fastest sack in last season at 2.5 seconds in Week 6. That being said, you have Montez Sweat coming into a contract year. You have Chase Young, who has a big-ass chip on his shoulder, Coach. So not only will I say that this unit, who was number 1 on third down in the league last season, should expect, if they're healthy, to be top 5. I'll say even if they're not healthy, they should expect to be top 5. Given with what they have here, they have really replenished some positions that they needed some long-term health in, and they really did that. They're set up for success. So there are no more excuses. They are a well-built unit, and there's a lot of they've put expectations on them before, but this is not just the expectation. This is the bare minimum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, his next question was, who is going to be the sack leader this season?
See, that one's tough.
Because I think we actually asked somebody last season, and they said Deron Payne, and I don't want to.
Yeah. See, because like
Acreage.
I would hope it would, and like this is just because I love him. I would hope it would be Chase. I just hope Chase blows up so everybody can shut up about him. But realistically, I mean, you can't discount those two boys in the middle, but Montez Sweat being hungry and as athletic and as much of a freak he is, and he's been so close for the last few years to getting these sacks. Hopefully this year, with having Chase on the other side for a full season, another freak athlete, hopefully that can kind of push some of these guys into Montez Sweat's long ass 8-foot arm wingspan, and hopefully he'll lead the team.
I'll take Chase Young here. I'll drink the Kool-Aid. I think that the mental aspect, the pressure that he's under, I think we're going to see a Chase Young this season. I think he's poised for a big year, and there's going to be a lot of eyes focused on the interior and on Montez Sweat. And I think a motivated Chase Young, being coached by Ryan Kerrigan, is a difference maker. I think the best that Chase Young looked was when Ryan Kerrigan was playing with him, being able to help him and just adjust as a kind of a tutor and a mentor. And now the fact that he's actually a coach there, I think we're really going to see the best of Chase Young. And this is a great time to do it. Not picking up the franchise tag was a fantastic decision, forcing this sort of thing. So we'll see how it plays out, but I trust in Chase Young that he'll be the sack leader this season and show why he was the number 2 overall pick. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap us up for this episode. Thank you for your question, Coach Curl. That was fantastic. Thank you to you, Reed, for finally joining us and wanting to ask Mitch Tischler about the cocaine in the White House.
We all know whose that was. Come on.
It's Joe Biden's. What are you talking about?
No, yeah, right.
Awake,
he
man.
died. Come on, man. It's Hunties. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Don't tell me your nickname.
No, it wasn't. It was Donald Trump's. How dare him leave that there?
Conspiracy. All right, everybody. We will see you guys again
on
Hunters. Monday. Hope Paul the best and his fiance. Hope they got a great car, great financing, a low interest rate. Hope great things for them. All right, everybody.
If it's the Toyota, that's going to last forever. Good for you guys.
Yeah, seriously. It's a smart buy. The resale value on those are incredible.
Yeah,
all right, everybody. We will see you again on Monday. Have a great, safe weekend. We love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. We really do appreciate all of your contributions and your efforts to this show. We couldn't do this without you guys. Seriously, we really couldn't. All right, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. I'm Kyle.
And James is up. Uh-oh.
All right, everybody. Washington football.
He passed out.
What's up, everyone? This is Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. We are releasing our own merch to support the show. If you want to rock the Burgundy Zone logo or you want to see Reed's face on your shirt, we got it. We're starting with t-shirts, hoodies, and zip-up. So if you're a fan of the show, make sure you snag one before they are gone. Check out the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Thanks again for all your support. Until next time.